of people say that deck thinning is overrated, but I say that those people just haven't deck thinned hard enough, and today I got a deck to show you exactly what I mean. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and today it is time for some jank. We're playing some Shelldock Surprise, which is one of the jankiest and most hilarious decks that we have played in a long time. So let's talk about what this absurd pile of magic cards is actually trying to do, jump into some games and see if we can actually pull it off. So our deck today is playing 36 copies of Shadowborn Apostle. If you don't know Shadowborn Apostle, it's a 1-mana 1/1. Your deck can have any number of them, which is how we get away with playing 36 of them. And then you can pay a black, sack 6 creatures named Shadowborn Apostle, tutor up a demon from your deck, put it on the battlefield. So you're probably thinking, okay, 36 Shadowborn Apostles, what cool demons are you playing to find with Shadowborn Apostle? And the answer is 0. There are no demons in our deck at all. Instead, the goal of Shadowborn Apostle is to be the ultimate form of deck fitting. What we actually want to do with this deck is not play Shadowborn and attack with it, or sack it to find demons. We want to exile all the copies of Shadowborn from our deck. So for this, we got 2 cards, Surgical Extraction, Lost Legacy. The actual dream draw for this deck is on turn 1, we have a hand that has some Shadowborns, has a Surgical Extraction. We hope that we lose the die roll, because we actually want to go last with this deck. On our first turn, we draw for our turn, we don't play land. We don't play a land that messes everything up. We go to our end step, we discard a Shadowborn Apostle to hand size, and then we can just pay 2 life for a Surgical Extraction, target the Shadowborn in our graveyard, exile it, and exile all the Shadowborn Apostles in our deck. If we can't do that, we have Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy is a card that you normally play to hate on your opponent's combos. For 3 mana, you name an artifact, a non-artifact, non-land card, and you search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name. You exile all of them, the player shuffles, and then you draw a card for each one of those cards exiled from your hand. But we're not playing Lost Legacy to target our opponent. We're playing Lost Legacy to target ourselves, naming Shadowborn Apostle, which is another way that we can exile all 36 Shadowborn Apostles from our deck. And if we have some in hand, we even get to draw some cards. So now you're probably wondering, why do you care so much about thinning 36 cards out of your deck? And the answer is, the card we're actually built around is Shelldock Isle. So Shelldock Isle, it's this old hideaway land from Lorwyn. When it enters, you look at your top 4 cards, you get to hide one away, exile it face down, and then you can play that card for free, as long as you meet Shelldock Isle's condition, which is a library needs to have 20 or fewer cards in it. So if you actually do the math of this deck, if we have 36 Shadowborn Apostles, and we Surgical Extract all 36 Shadowborn Apostles, that's going to get our deck down to 24 cards, but plus, we've played a land, we also have Shelldock Isle, which will hide away a card, so that's another card out of our deck. So if you math all this together, if we can actually Lost Legacy or Surgical Extract Shadowborn, our library will be low enough that it'll turn on Shelldock Isle on like turn 2 or whatever. We get to do this very early in the game with our deck thinning plan. This is also why our deck only has 13 total lands, because we literally just can't afford to play more lands because it'll fizzle the combo and we won't deck thin hard enough to turn on Shelldock Isle. So why do we care about turning on Shelldock Isle? And the answer is, we got Emrakul the Eon stored. So here's the full plan of this deck. Here's the dream. Get a Shadowborn Apostle in the graveyard, hopefully on turn 1. Surgically extract all 36 Shadowborn Apostles from our deck to make our deck small enough to turn on Shelldock Isle. After we extract all the Shadowborn Apostles, we play the Shelldock Isle, we pray to the magic gods that we have an Emrakul in our top 4 cards, which isn't that unlikely, because at this point we only have like 18 cards or 20 cards in our library. So we Shelldock Isle, hopefully hit the Emrakul, and then the next turn, Shelldock Isle, play the Emrakul, get an extra turn because it actually counts as casting it, and then we just annihilate our opponent with a 15/15 protection from colored spells, Annihilator 6, can't be countered threat. So that's what we're trying to do today. Can this plan work? Can Shelldock Surprise actually pick up some wins? I got no idea. It's definitely a really wonky, weird plan, but let's jump into some games and find out. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this ridiculous attempt at breaking Shadowborn Apostle by turning into the ultimate deck thinning card. And I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. It is time for some jank. We are playing some 36 Shadowborn Apostle Shelldock Isle combo. Oh god, this deck is jank. Nope. All right. No way to extract our Shadowboards. Okay. Normally we want the surgical extraction, but Lost Legacy can work with 2 lands. This does mean we need to draw 1 more land, and then we can Lost Legacy ourselves to get rid of all the Shadowborn Apostles. Opponent, Ether Hub, sure. And Guide Souls. Yeah. Ooh, Shelldock Isle. Well, we got to play it. Normally we want to play, not lucky enough to hit Emrakul. I guess we just take a surgical. Normally we want to play Shelldock after we extract all the Shadowborns, because then our odds of hitting Emrakul are way higher. But in this case, we need the land so we can Lost Legacy ourselves. A word that people don't normally say. Usually you do not cast Lost Legacy on yourselves. I think this is actually the first deck I've ever built that wants to Lost Legacy itself. Found it. Voice of Victory triggers Guide Souls, hits us to 19. Well, ooh, another Shelldock. That's good. Well, the time has come. Lost Legacy targeting us, named Shadowborn. And, all right, 3 from hand, and then all of them from the deck. And this should get our deck size low enough to turn on Shelldock Isle. We still need to hit the Emrakul with the second Shelldock Isle and not die. But it's working. It's working. The plan is maybe coming to fruition. All right, we also get to draw some cards for the Shadowborns we exile from hand. All right, we got them all. Sweet. Well, exile them all. And then we should draw 3, because we only draw for the ones that are exiled from hand. Wait, did we miss? Oh, we missed. Well, okay. I guess that's actually fine. We drew all of our Shelldocks. We don't want to draw Emrakuls anyway. We did miss one from hand, but I think that actually oddly worked out for the best. Now it's simple and easy, right? We play the Shelldock. We hit an Emrakul. The next turn we Emrakul. Ooh, Amped Raptor. Spin it to win it. Spin it to win it. Come on, no whammies. Oh, that's actually really bad. Oh, no. That's really bad. All right. Goblin Bombardment. Opponent gets in. That is a lot of extra damage. Opponent hits us. We still have 2 turns, I think. So we're going to go to 13. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh boy, we might actually just be dead. All right, well, Shelldock, we got to hit Emrakul off this Shelldock. We definitely don't have time for 2 Shelldocks. All right. Oh, magic gods. So we're on the draw. Oh, this is perfect. It's kind of funny. We would like to be on the draw every game. If we had the option, we would always be on the draw. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to pick to be on the draw. It does it automatically. But we are on the draw this game, so we can turn 1. This deck's so weird. Pass the turn, don't play anything, discard a Shadowborn. That's why we want to be on the draw, so we can discard the hand size. Tifa, Tifa's scary, but how about if we extract 36 Shadowborn Apostles from our deck real quick? Get them all. This deck. It's such a jank idea. All right, Shadowboards, yes. And a few more Shadowboards. You could technically do this with any of the, you can play any number of cards. I think Shadowborn is the best just because it's the cheapest. If we need to cast it and like try to chump block with it. So, all right, we got them all. Shadowborn's down. Keep the ones in hand. Be good. We'd like to draw an untapped blue source. Come on, Shelldock. There's untapped blue. Emrakul. Yes. Okay, we got there. Well, your go about it. What do you got about it? Land. Triggers a Tifa. Sure. Yeah. Get in there. Mossborn Hydra. Well, opponent, Tifa can get big, but we got the biggest, baddest. Most broken monster in Magic. Darkslake Shores and Shelldock Surprise. Yes, we would like a turn 3 Emrakul actually cast with an extra turn. And yeah, we'll go to our extra turn, untap, and annihilate you a bit. It worked. And opponent scoops it up, and that went about as good as you could imagine. It does not get much better than that. I mean, I think we're gonna try it. I don't know if the Lost Legacy plan, it does require us drawing another land. Well, we'll see. Opponent doing some mulliganing. Underground Mortuary leaves it on top. Well, Darkslake Shores, go. All right, land. There's only 13 lands in this deck to make the math work. We would like to play more, but it's a Shadowborn. All right, we're gonna just keep waiting. Opponent surveils away a starting town and plays a land. Ugh. I mean, I guess we discard one to hand size. And that way, if we draw a surgical, we can go that direction. We would like to actually just draw, well, okay, there's a surgical. We would like to draw the Lost Legacy, or land for Lost Legacy, because if we land for Lost Legacy, not only do we get rid of all the surgicals, we get to draw for each one in hand, which should draw us into our Shelldock Isle, but opponent, land, and I don't know what our opponent's doing. So far, our opponent has not done anything except play Surveil lands, basically, and Verges. We gotta do the thing. Surgical Extraction. Targeting Shadowboard. And here they go. So, do a bunch of clicking, get rid of all the Shadowborns. It is important that we hit all of them. If we leave one in the deck, leaving them in hand is fine, that's fine. But we do really got to get rid of all of them in the deck, or it has potential to fizzle. The math on this deck is oddly specific. We are playing like exactly the right number of cards that if we extract all the Shadowborns, it should get us low enough to Shelldock Isle. And then the graveyard one's probably worth getting rid of just because we can't get them back. And if an Emrakul goes to the graveyard, it shuffles them back in, and we don't want them back in our deck. All right, there's a land. Well, I guess it's Lost Legacy time. Target ourselves. Name Shadowborn Apostle. So this is essentially a 3-mana exile 4 Shadowborns, draw 4. I mean, hopefully this finds us a Shelldock Isle. No Emrakuls, though. No Emrakuls. Ooh, okay. Wait, we had a Shadowborn in our deck. I missed one? Oh, that's awkward. Huh. Well, we found the Shelldock, which is good. The bad news is we have 15 cards left in 2 Emrakuls. So we're not guaranteed to hit one with this Shelldock, and we really need to because the Dinosaur is going to kill us. Bonus hit is a 15, another Shelldock. Emrakul. Ooh, okay. Not an Emrakul. Well, I'm kind of glad we left the Shadowborn because it can jump block for a turn. Maybe the secret is to leave one Shadowborn in your deck on X. Oh, Carnosaur. Sad trumpets. Found it. Yeah. And that's death. We don't have enough time to play a tap land. We need 2 more turns and we just don't got it. So the way this deck works, we can't interact with our opponent. So it's purely about doing our combo. So we want to keep playing for as long as there is some chance we can play a Shelldock Isle and wait a turn to untap it to do the Emrakul thing. This hand looks quite excellent. Opponent, Kimano, faces Kazan. Well, this is perfect because we're on the draw. So we're just going to pass. Pay no attention, opponent. Don't worry about it. No land. Why would we keep a 0-lander? We're so bad at Magic. This gets the Shadowborn in the graveyard, though, which is all that really matters. We still need to find the Shelldock Isle, all right? Lightning Stormkin. Sure, whatever. We will spend 2 life. Surgically extract. All right, see if we can get every one of them this time. The goal is always to get all of them. But occasionally, you will see the clock is going to start going. There's actually some time pressure here to, when we extract, see, here comes the rope. There's actually some time pressure to do this quickly, especially doing it early because we don't have any timeouts saved up. Did we get them all? I think we got them all. And then grab the graveyard one. All right. A little deck fitting. I know it's not... Deck fitting isn't actually a real thing for the most part. In this deck, though, this is real deck fitting. When you can thin 36 cards from your deck down to 19, which is where we want to be. So we have 4 Shelldocks out of 19 cards. It would be nice if we draw one soon, because we're going to take 3 this turn. We have like two turns to draw a Shelldock, I think. Maybe longer, because we can jump block with the Shadowborns that are left over in hand on the ground creatures. Maybe 3 turns. We have 2 or 3 turns to draw a Shelldock. Opponent, considering getting in for 3. I assume they will choose 2. I mean, let's just draw a Shelldock Isle this turn. And then we don't have to worry about it. Down to 14. Well, okay, that's a Darkslick Shores. Go Shadowborns. Backup plan assembled. Hilariously, it is actually impossible that we hardcast Emrakul in this deck. There are literally not enough mana sources in our deck. We could literally play every land in our deck and we still wouldn't be able to cast Emrakul. I told you it's jank. We are in max jank mode this week. Found it. Phoenix Chick, sure. And play with fire, gonna take down the Shadowborn Apostle. Sure, pound it. It's us down to 18. Oh, there it is. There it is. Or down to 8. There is the Shelldock Isle. There's Emrakul. Okay. Oh, don't kill us. Don't kill us. Don't kill us. They could potentially burn us out if they have double burn spell. As long as we don't die this turn, though, we should be good. Because then, all right, Rabbit Battery. That's fine. That's not a burn spell. We can jump one ground creature. Poor Shadowborn, either here to be surgically extracted, lose its legacy, or chump block aggressively. Well, I think we play a little Emrakul here. Shelldock Isle. And what could be under the Shelldock Isle? Perhaps it is a flying spaghetti monster. Oh, when this deck works, the 33% of the time it works. Oh, it's glorious. Well, there's an Emrakul. We get an extra turn. I guess we might as well play a land, not that it really matters. Turns out our opponent has exactly 6 permanents, which is a good number against Emrakul, who annihilates 6. I think they're reading the Emrakul, trying to figure out. They might have, like, I'm betting they have an Into the Floodmaw or something, and they're learning that Emrakul has protection from all spells that are 1 or more colors. I have a bit of bad news. How would you like to have 0 permanents? This has got to be one of the jankiest ways to get a flawless victory. My God, is it jank? Well, opponent, no lands, down to 5, and land and go. They could still go land Chain Lightning. Land Chain Lightning and we die. Oh, opponent, gonna pass. Does not have a Chain Lightning, does not have a land. We have an Emrakul, and we also have a dead opponent. Got him, got him, got him, got him. Ooh. Yeah, no way to extract. Well, okay, keep on mulliganing. So the theory of mulliganing with this deck, the dream draw is a surgical extraction, a Shadowborn Apostle, and a Shelldock Isle. That is the ideal dream. But we need to mulligan to find basically a surgical extraction or a lost legacy, along with a Shadowborn Apostle, and then we go from there. So the deck will mulligan all the way down to like 2, or maybe even 1, to find that, because if we don't do that, then we just draw Shadowborn Apostles all game and nothing happens. Opponent, great Furnace, eh? Well, you didn't hit you. It'd be nice if our opponent would kill a Shadowborn for us. Normally, we just discard one to hand size, but when you got a mulligan a bunch, that doesn't work. Opponent, would you like to Lightning Bolt a Shadowborn, please? I guess Lightning Bolt's not even legal on Historic. Okay, Ren, would you like to kill a Shadowborn? Would you like to kill a Shadowborn? Snipe it, snipe it. Yes. Okay, thank you, opponent. You have fallen for our trap. Well, now we will surgically extract a Shadowborn Apostle, do a little bit of exiling here, get all these Shadowborns out of our deck. This is the most stressful part of playing the deck because the clock always starts running. It always starts running. There's so much pressure to try to get every single one of them before you run out of time. It's like a mini game. You get to play this like fast click simulating mini game. Well, get them Shadowborns out of here. All of you, all y'all. All right. Shadowborn's down. Whew, well, now we hope we draw, well, okay, Darkslake Shores. That's not what we were hoping to draw, but get in, hit the red. And, I mean, Assembletron, I guess. Can you beat 3/1/1s, Jund? It is cool to see Jund kind of being a thing now that they printed all the various goyfs onto Arena finally. Random cards being added to Arena has become one of my favorite parts of Magic recently. Just like the anthologies and like getting to play old cards that are nostalgic and I really like in a new context. I find that so fun. Opponent, Tarmogoyf. Certainly. And, all right, Fatal Push, gonna keep killing the Shadowborns. And then Ren, gonna, what, kill a Shadowborn. Oh, gonna get back to land. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, Emrakul. Well, we would rather be drawing Shelldock Isles. We can live for a couple more turns, I think. Well, that's fine. Oh, well, That does shuffle a Shadowborn back in our deck, which is awkward, but 25, that's not good. That's not good. That's actually really bad. So now even if we draw a Shelldock, we don't have enough cards out of our library to activate it. Ooh, we might be in trouble. Yeah, drawing the Emrakul was really bad for us. Opponent, Necrogoyf and Tarmogoyf beatdowns. Well, we're going to block while we got the chance. It's going to get sniped by the Ren eventually anyway, so we might as well block while we can. Surgical is fine. Well, not really. It's fine in the sense that it's going to help us thin our deck more. The problem is, oh, there's Adisa. The problem is I don't think we have enough time. Because remember, it's not like we have removal or anything. The deck can't afford to play any removal. Well, we are going to, once again, for the second time, extract Shadowborn Apostles. Get them from the graveyard. Get them from the deck. All right, get rid of them all. I mean, now we're drawing, well, not really. We're technically drawing live to Shelldock Isle. The problem is, our opponent's clock is fast enough that we take 8. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead next turn. So even if we'll just keep drawing Emrakuls. Yep. This sounds about right. Oh, this deck's so funny. Oh my god, it's a nut draw. It's the nut draw. Shh. Well, other than being, see, this is where we would choose to go second if that was an option. But it's not an option. We'd rather go second so we could just draw and discard the hand size. But this is still like, other than having a swamp, which means we still need to draw a blue source, this is quite literally everything we want. Are we just gonna run out the Shadowborns? Yeah, let's play the land and pass. We do have the potential Lost Legacy draw. Faithless Looting. Are they Reanimator? Oracle of Bones. Can we draw land? Can we draw land? Ugh, another Lost Legacy. We're gonna split the difference. We're gonna this is exactly what you should not do, which is bounce back and forth between Stillness and Motion, all right? Bounce back and forth between Lost Legacy and Surgical. All right, I guess we're on the Surgical plan now. For a minute, it looked like Lost Legacy might work, but I don't really want to play the Shelldock. Ooh, Jankiest. Golly. Okay, opponent. The Modern Age. Well, let's do a little extraction. It is funny, if we run into Reanimator, we do have a bunch of main deck hate because of all the Surgical extractions, although we'd rather be using them. Our opponent's got it. Be breathing a sigh of relief, knowing that we had Surgical in hand, but we're spending it to exile 36 Shadowborn Apostles instead of fizzling their reanimation. Well, all right, get rid of some Shadowboards. Every one of ya, get out of there, you silly demon lovers. Get rid of the Shadowboards. And now, we just need to draw a blue source. That's, well, and hit the Emrakul with the Shelldock. Those are the 2 steps. 19 cards left in the deck. Perfect. 4 Emrakuls still in there. Okay, there's a blue source. Emrakul. Okay, we got there. There's the Emrakul. We're just gonna pass. We could play a Shadowborn, but not really necessary. Opponent mills some cards. I'm pretty sure even if our opponent reanimates something here, we're still opponent's deck is kind of spicy. Stillness in Motion. Oh, sin. Faithless Looting. The nice thing about our combo, if you want to call it that, is it is hard to interact with, right? It's not the most consistent thing I've ever seen. Bank Job, sure. None of that matters because we got the only card that actually matters, which is Big Mom Emrakul, Shelldock Isle, and Emrakul. And yes, we would like to take an extra turn. We could extract something just to send a message, but we'll be nice and just annihilate. We'll be nice and just annihilate your board instead. Well, when it works, it really works. I'll give it that. 36 Shadowborn Apostle time. Oh, we got. I think we have to mulligan this. The hand would have been fine, but I don't think we can afford to have 2 Emrakuls in hand. I think we need the Emrakuls in the deck. This is really a. All right, Shelldock, no extra. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, all right. We got a Surgical. We did it. 4 cards to the bottom. Emrakul, Shadowborn. Really, this is all we need to do the thing, though, right? Like, all we need is a Shadowborn to die, which hopefully our opponent is kind enough to help us with here. About it. Overgrown tube. Don't Fuzzies. Just kill it. Kill it. You got to kill it, opponent. Whatever will you do? It's a 1/1. Kill it. Oh, no. Oh, man, and we would have drawn the friggin' Shelldock, too. All right, opponent land. That Thoughtseize was so brutal, especially on the Molda 3. Dredger's Insight, opponent. Gonna do a little milling of their own. So it would be nice if we could play more interaction or whatever, but the combo literally doesn't work if we play more cards in it. Like, it's such a weird deck. It's so weird. Well, we're on the backup plan that I don't know if it can actually work, which is Playing Shadowborn Apostles and attacking. I don't know if it's actually possible to win a game that way with this deck. But we got nothing else going on, so we might as well try. Opponent, Mill the Bloodghast, gonna get it back for free, gonna get in life with the Dredger's Insight. Underground Mortuary, get it a little bit of Surveilling. Are we leaving it at top, or is it going into the graveyard? Opponent says top, okay. So is this like Dredge? Golgari Dredge? Golgari Graveyard? Oh, Birthing, oh, that's actually super cute. Oh, Birthing Ritual is a powerful card. We've seen Birthing Ritual be very powerful in Modern. Haven't seen it much on Arena. Being able to get back Bloodghast with landfall, haha, opponent. How about another Shadowborn? We're going to attack so we can get a Shadowborn in the graveyard. But this means next turn, they can play a land, get back the Bloodghast, and just Birthing Ritual again. Which is actually, like, that is a pretty cool synergy that I haven't seen anyone else doing. I might have to try to build around that. And then play a bunch of 3-drops, I guess. A bunch of good 3-drops and just try to spin into it with the Birthing Ritual. Opponent gets back the Bloodghast. And Bogart, no. All of our work. Bogart Trawler, gonna nuke the graveyard. Oh, all right, well, we will block. Come on, we just need to top deck a Surgical. How about a Surgical off the top, Magic Gods? How about a Surgical, right? We need it pretty soon if this is gonna work. Birthing Ritual, opponent. I mean, there's not much we can do about anything. We hope and pray to the Magic Gods real hard that we draw Surgical now. If we draw Surgical, we can play the Shelldock right away. And then if we hit the Emrakul, we get Emrakul next turn. So if we draw Surgical, we're definitely probably favored. Actually, I don't know. I'd have to math it out. But I think we're probably favored to win. We draw. Good old Shadowborn Apostle. There are a lot of those in our deck. I think we're actually pretty dead here, come to think of it. Because you got to remember, we need a turn to play the Shelldock Isle. Then we need another turn for it to become untapped. So we still need 2 turns. And then it is possible that we do the thing. And if our opponent's board is too big, another removal spell. Yeah, now we're definitely dead. If their board is too big, they could theoretically like just take the Annihilator and kill us on the backswing. Yeah, there's not enough time to draw everything we need. All right, Mitch. Have you heard of Shadowborn Apostle, opponent? Ooh, okay, it's a Lost Legacy hand. It's a Lost Legacy hand. Can we keep this? We do have an Emrakul in hand. But we have 2 lands. We gotta waste the Shelldock. Because we don't want to play the Shelldock and we don't want Emrakul in hand. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. And we have the Shelldock, actually. The only challenge with this hand is, how do we efficiently get a Shadowborn in the graveyard? So we're hoping our opponent's playing a creature deck so we can chump block. That'd be the best. Come on, Mitch. Come on, Mitch. How about a creature? No? All right. Passes. Well, there's a Shadowborn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to wait. Yeah, on the mulligan, it's so if we have to mulligan, the discard to hand size plan becomes much worse. Like here, we'd have to wait a bunch. We have to wait 2 more turns to discard and then another turn to actually do it. Yeah, it'd be like turn 6 or something by the time we got to try to do the thing. So I think we got to run it out and just, one of the nice things is if we draw enough surgicals, if we draw enough Shadowborns, eventually they look scary because in our opponent's brain, they're like, oh my God, if they get 6 of them, they're going to get a big demon. In practice, there's no demons in the deck, so joke's on you, opponent. But eventually they look scary enough that our opponent decides, okay, we actually have to kill it. Well, play the Shadowboard. Not playing the Shelldock. Don't play the Shelldock Isle early because the math is just so much better. The math is so much better if we are able to get rid of the Shadowborns first. Like, our odds of hitting an Emrakul are much higher. If we just run it out here, the odds of hitting Emrakul are very low. But if we only have like 18 cards in our deck, then the math becomes much better. Opponent, a Snake. Winding, man, I remember when that was like the talk of Standard for a while. Snake was like a legit card back during its day. Opponent passes. All right, please block, opponent. It's not suspicious, I promise. It's fine. Just do it. It's fine. Don't worry. Thank you. Thank you, Snake. Oh, thank you, Snake. All right, so now I think we might as well do it right now. Surgical Extraction. Gonna pay some manas. Get rid of the Shadowborns. All of them from the deck. And then we pray to the Magic Gods that we got an Emrakul in the top 4. This deck is just so hilariously convoluted. I remember I built a Commander Clash deck once. It was S week. All the cards in my deck had to start with S. And I built a Surgical Extraction Shadowborn Apostle combo deck with Sir Conrad is the commander. So the idea was get the Shadowborns in the graveyard, surgically extract them all, with Sir Conrad out, burn everyone out of the game. Is kind of similar. 21 cards in the deck. Emrakul. Emrakul. Okay. Your go, Mitch. All right, Mitch. I have a surprise for you next turn, Mitch. So make this turn count because it might be your last. It might be the end. What are we doing with the Winding Constrictor about it? Thinking. Gold. I do like Goldvein Hydra. And you get the Hollowmerk Siege Straw. All right, opponent popping off. Popping off with the snake. And the Hydra opponent hits us down to 14. Well, I think it's our turn to do things. Like, for example, tap blue mana, tap Sheldog. How about an Emrakul the Eon's Torn? The combo's so good too because well, not good, but it's very effective when it works because you actually get the extra turn with Emrakul too. Get in there, do a little annihilation. Sadly, we are 1 point of damage. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. 1 damage short of winning, but I guess if you don't have any permanents, there's not much point in continuing. Well, that one went pretty well. Okay, we're on the draw. We got the surgical. We do have an Emrakul in hand, which isn't ideal, but I think this is close enough. Found it, tap land. Because we get to turn 1, no land, pass. Our opponent has to be so confused. What do our opponents think when we turn 1, skip a land drop, discard a Shadowborn Apostle to hand size? I wonder, well, it's surgical extraction time. I wonder what percentage of opponents figure out what we're doing at that point, if any. I would be surprised if many did. I would be surprised. I don't know, what would you think? If your opponent skips their turn 1 land drop, discards a Shadowborn Apostle to hand size, do you think they misclicked and accidentally kept a hand with no lands? Are you sus? Do you think there's like something like this about to happen? I'm very curious. Would it set off alarm bells? All right, so we're going to exile everything. Opponent gets a Bishop of Wings. Ooh. Drawing second Emrakul is pretty bad. That is pretty bad for us. That means there's only 2 left in the deck. So even if we draw Sheldog, 20 cards. Yeah, the math is not super great. This is a very mathy deck in a weird way. Opponent hits us down to 15. Lost Legacy. All right, not the time for that. Well, let's get in. Oh, okay. I was not expecting that. Opponent would like to trade their bishop. I was not expecting that. Well, we'll take it down to 14. There it is. There it is. Come on. Be good. There's an Emrakul. Okay. Run out of shit. I think we got him. I think we're like a 50-50 shot to hit the Emrakul there. Opponent gets in. Hits us. Down to 13. Things are looking bad, but now things are going to start looking slightly better, I think. Sheldog Isle. Emrakul. Extra surprise. And yeah, I guess we'll beat you down with the Shadowborns too. Not that it really matters, because the big payoff is Big Mama Emrakul gonna annihilate your board and hit you to 1. And all right, bag. I think we might have this one in the bag. An opponent scoops. Opponent agrees. Scoops it up. Extracting of 36, oh, come on. We need a better hand than this. 36 Shadowborn Apostles. Got them all in that one. There's no way we can keep 2 Emrakuls, no extraction. Okay, all right. The only awkward part about this is we did mulligan a bunch, so we can't easily discard the hand size. And around the play. I mean, we can discard the hand size eventually. It's just going to take... Okay, Bajuka Bog. Glad that's gone. Oh, are we waiting 2 more turns? Yeah, we're going to run them out. Now that we do our land, I think it's better just to run it out. Hope our opponent kills our Shadow. I've never wanted opponents to kill my creatures more than with this deck. Playing some sort of mono black pile. What are we doing? Okay, Sanguine Soothsayer. Sure. Block, please. Please. Oh, opponent, you got to kill it. Oh. We just need to get a Shadowborn in the graveyard. So when it attacks, you get a Sanguine Bond in your top 15, and then it's free once you cast it. Never seen that card before, but sure. I actually think designs like that are kind of cool. Like, alchemy cards that are things that create older iconic cards, I actually think that those are kind of neat. I actually kind of like those. Out of all the alchemy cards, those are the ones I like the most. Man, are we just... stuck playing. Yeah, our opponent's not going to kill it. They're just not going to kill a Shadowborn. If they find a free Sanguine Bond, that becomes very bad for us very quickly. I mean, this is already pretty bad, staring down the Unholy Annex. Our opponent, the problem is this thing has lifelink, so they're kind of incentivized not to trade, because we're hitting them for 3, but they're gaining back 2, so it's like, oh, we're winning this race. Like, we can do this all day. So there's not really much of, Shieldred. Well, maybe Shieldred will do some blocking. Opponent, gonna get in, conjure even more Sanguine Bonds into their deck. Draws a card, probably a Sanguine Bond, gains some life. We draw a Watery Grave. Well, opponent, we at least be nice enough. Now the problem is, now they're gonna be like, oh, they're trying to trigger Revolt to kill our Shieldred. Nah, they stop. Opponent's playing this incredibly well. I don't even know if they know how well they're playing it. I don't think they're playing around me surgically extracting the Shadowborns and playing Shelldock Isle, but they are playing around it quite expertly. Oh, there it is. Yeah, free Sanguine Bond, and now I think we're just dead with the Shieldred out. Now we, yeah. Yep. Well, got Alchemid. Brutal. Ooh, this hand. Okay. This hand could work. We're on the play, unfortunately, but we got the Shadowborn, we got the Surgical Extraction. I mean, there's still going to be some variance. But this is the kind of hand that we got to keep. Like, opponent. Surgical and a Falma. Oh, Adventures? Interesting. Well, all right. Pass the turn. Discard the hand size. Now we just got to hope we draw Shelldocks in the near future. Mosswood Dread Knight. Okay. Well, I think it's surgical time. Surgical the Shadowboards. Do our little speed click simulation here. Shadowborn. And how about a Shadowborn and a Shadowborn. And more Shadowborns. And another Shadowborn. And a Shadowborn. Oh, the clock's going. Shadowborn. I feel like when we play a game with this deck, the games where we actually do the thing, I think we spend more time clicking on Shadowborn Apostles in our library than we do actually playing the game of Magic. The most time-consuming part of this deck is just extracting that many Shadowboards. Another one. Okay, so if you ever get in a situation, not that you should build this deck anyway, but if you do build this deck anyway, if you ever draw the second Surgical, might as well Surgical the Surgical in the graveyard to do a little more deck thinning, because that increases our odds of drawing what we want by getting rid of stuff that we don't want. So we are going to Surgical this Surgical on our opponent's end step to increase the chances that we draw a Shelldock Isle. Wow, opponent's getting in with a Death Toucher too. All right, well, we're going to block. Get rid of the Dork. Well, let's surgically extract. Get rid of the surgical extractions just to get a few more cards out of the deck. So we need to draw Shelldock Isle in a blue source, which literally most of our deck is lands and shell. Okay, there's a blue source. Well, how about a Shadowborn? We can try to play some Shadowborn Apostle defense. Cha. Not exactly a great plan, but it's something. Opponent draws a card. At least we're not under an absurd amount of pressure yet. Opponent, Prismatic Vesta. The one halfway decent fetch that exists in this format grabs a forest. And Lucky, I do love Lucky Clover. Lucky Clover is such a cool card. It was a little over the top in standard, but it's like an adventure Panharmonicon. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I guess we're just playing our entire hand of Shadowborns. Shadowborn number 2, Shadowborn number 3, Shadowborn number 4. I think I've said Shadowborn like 50 times in this one game. Shadowborn. Go. Shadowborn. All right, opponent. We really need the Shelldock Isle. If we don't draw the Shelldock Isle, all of this is kind of for naught. We're going to chip in because this 1 damage might matter in the future. Like, if we get an Emrakul, it would be nice if we could... Assassin Strike. Okay, opponent does not want to take that 1 damage. I think it's worth chipping in for the 1 damage because we want Emrakul to be lethal if possible. But, opponent says, well, I'm glad they spent the Assassin Trophy in some ways, because they could have theoretically used that to disrupt a Shelldock Isle. Most decks cannot interact with a land, but Assassin's Trophy actually can. Opponent Lovestruck Beast makes the tokens, and now the Beast hits us down to 6. Oh, there's Shelly. Shelldock Isle. There's an Emrakul. Okay, can we live? So we block. We go to 3. Oh man, this is gonna be tight. This is going to be tight. Opponent casts a Lockwane. They have so many permanents. Well, we can clean up the tokens. I don't think Emrakul gets everything, though. So block the 2 tokens. Block the Lovestruck Beast. I mean, we get an Emrakul. Is this going to be the game where we Emrakul and it's not enough? That actually seems possible. Opponent. Oh, Castle Lockwanes. Down to... No. To 6... No. That 1 point of damage. Our opponent's next level magic genius. That play that looks so weird. Assassin's trophying the 1/1. I think is going to win our opponent this game because we get to Emrakul. We get the extra turn. We draw another Sheldock, whatever, go to combat, attack you, annihilate you. But our opponent, they can sack everything, keep their creatures, and then just hit us for lethal. That 1 point of damage actually mattered. If our opponent had taken 1 off that Shadowborn Apostle, this Emrakul attack would be lethal. But instead, that ridiculous play actually was the perfect play for our opponent. Although I guess if they kept the Assassin's Trophy, they could have blown up the Sheldock. So I guess maybe it would have worked out either way. But it is funny that play ended up keeping our opponent exactly alive by a single point of damage. Well, adventures. Assassin's Trophy. Interesting. All right. Time to play some Shadowborn Apostles. Actually, we don't even want to play them. We're just doing the deck. Ooh. I like this hand. We're on the play, but that's fine. That's fine. We're just going to pass. Oops, why do we keep a 0-lander? Opponent, swamp, and don't Thoughtseize us. Okay, opponent passes. Well, we will again pass. 2 turns in a row with no land. What a horrible keep. Opponent, swamp, and waste not. Well, in response, I think we are going to, oh wait, we got to do Phyrexian mana. I think we're going to extract some Shadowborns. See, we don't even want to play them. This literally is... It literally is about deck fitting. That is the purpose. We almost missed one. That is the purpose of the Shadowborn in the deck. It is a way that we can thin our deck and get down under 20 cards to turn on Sheldock Isle. Well, get rid of some Shadowborns. Maybe some more Shadowborns. How about some more Shadowborns? You and you and you and you. And maybe you and you. All right. Well, we did it without running out of time. So our deck, a little thinner now. Opponent gets a waste not. So they are a discard deck. You know what? Let's surgical let's just wait. Now we will surgical. Let's surgical the surgical. Just to increase our odds of finding an Emrakul with Sheldock. Gets 2 more whiffs out of the deck because we don't really want to hit a surgical here. Now let's play the Sheldock. Well, that's an Emrakul. Surprise, surprise, opponent. I mean, even if our opponent has discard here, I don't think it's enough. Unless they can somehow make us discard the Watery Grave. Opponent waste not number 2. Well, there's the Thoughtseize. I'm glad they didn't have that earlier. If they had that earlier, that could have maybe... Well, I guess we had 2 surgicals. Opponent takes a Lost Legacy. Draws a couple of cards. Well, there's bad news, opponent, which is... I got a surprise for you. Underneath the Sheldock Isle is a flying spaghetti monster, and waste not, lose, indeed. Get in at you about it. There goes a board. Down to 15, down to 3, and I mean, I guess we play a couple Shadowborns. We are a Shadowborn Apostle deck after all. You know what? We're even going to shock ourselves, and we're going to assemble some Shadowborns to send a message. There is a practical purpose for playing the Shadowborn, which is it would give us a buffer for some sort of free edict, which I don't think exists. But if they did have a free edict or a 1-mana edict, opponent looking for the right emote for this situation. And swamp and hopeless nightmare. Oh, we get to discard the Emrakul, shuffle them all back in. Not bad. And even more Sheldocks, not that we need it. Well, opponent, Emrakul the face, sack them all again. Emrakul is such a brutal card. Well, there we go. That's the plan. That's what we're trying to do. Flawless victory. So what do we learn this week about Shelldock Surprise? And the answer to that is 33% of the time, it works every time. I played a ton of games with the deck, and we ended up with exactly a 33% win rate, which honestly is better than I expected. I had this pegged as like a 10, 15, 20% win rate deck. So the fact that we won 1 out of every 3 games, I was actually very impressed with that. I will say this deck is not going to rank you up to Mythic or anything. It's not that competitive of a deck just because it's not consistent enough. You need so many pieces. You got to mulligan so aggressively to find, the Surgical and the Shadowborn. And even once you do all that and do the deck thinning thing and get rid of all the shadow boards, there's still a chance that you play the Shelldock Isle with like 18, 19, 20 cards in your deck, and there's not an Emrakul in your top 4, and then you do all that work and end up like hiding away surgical extraction or something, and it's so sad. So there's just a bunch of fail points built into this where things can go wrong. The good news is it's super funny when you pull it off. It's just so unique, and we did see that once we get the Emrakul under the Shelldock Isle, once we get to that point, the deck is very unlikely to lose. There was one game, I think, where we actually did the full thing and we Emrakul'd, but our opponent had such a big board, they like took the hit and went on the backswing. But pretty much every game where we actually got an Emrakul under Shelldock, we did end up winning in the long run. So it is powerful. Like, Emrakul is still powerful. There's just a lot of inconsistency of getting to that point. I will also say, it actually was a lot of effort to build this deck. Not because it's a hard deck to build, right? It's 36 copies of a single card. We're playing only 4 non-land cards in our entire deck, like Shadowborn, Emrakul, Surgical Extraction, Lost Legacy. So there's not a whole lot going on there, but there was a lot of like tweaking with finding the right numbers, because you want to play as many lands as possible so you can cast your spells, as many combo pieces as possible, so like Surgical Extractions and Lost Legacies, but you can't play too many of those cards because you also need to make sure that if you do the thing and extract all the Shadowborn Apostles, that that's going to get you low enough to be able to activate Shelldock Isle. We had that one game where we did the extraction thing, and then our opponent like thought seized an Emrakul and shuffled some Shadowborns in our graveyard back into our deck that had died from jump blocking, and we ended up with like 25 cards in our deck. That's a nightmare. You can't end up in a situation where you do all this work and you like thin your deck down to 23 cards or something, because then you're still 3 turns away from turning on Shelldock Isle, which isn't acceptable. So that was the hardest part of building the deck, was just figuring out like how many lands can we play, how many non-Shadowborn Apostles can we play, because it would be great if we could have some wraths or removal or something, but there's just not really any way to do it, because if we cut Shadowborn Apostles, then the whole combo falls apart because we can't Surgical Extract to get enough cards out of the deck. So I really think it's just like a super funny brewing problem, and the end result is a deck that's super unique, competitive, maybe not exactly, but 33% of the time, it's really impressive. So anyway, that's Shelldock Surprise. Hopefully you enjoyed this super janky deck. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.